Hi everyone, welcome to the Whiteleyverse with me, Connor Whiteley, for another daily short story. Now, before I start today's story, please remember to like, comment and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new content, and the engagement really helps the Whiteleyverse with the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you want to buy this short story and any of my other fiction, then they're available from all major ebook retailers and at your local bookstore and local library if you requested, and you can order paperback copies from Amazon. Now, here's today's short story. I hope you enjoyed just as much as I did writing it.
Twist of Faith. This was the day he died because of a twist of faith. Charlie Adams gripped a large chunk of cold granite as he looked down the long spiral staircase. He shook his head. The warming, friendly aroma of freshly roasted meat, mint and garlic filled his senses, almost luring him further down, but this felt wrong. He would have much preferred to be reading sweet bedtime stories to his two young girls, hugging his wife, and reading up on the latest medical advancements for his job. Anything would have been better than coming down here, to the Great One's personal chamber. Yet he had to save his wife, no matter what. He didn't want her or him to be hurting, suffering, or in pain anymore. They had both simply reached their limit. The cold granite walls that curved perfectly to follow the spiral staircase downwards, further into the ancient golden temple, were so different from the beautiful temple above. He shook away the silly thoughts and took another step. The icy coldness of the granite shot into his bare feet. All he wanted to do was go home, be with his sick wife and cradle her in his arms. He just needed everything to be okay. He loved his wife, Ariana, so much. She had to be saved. Just had to be. Charlie had loved seeing the golden walls, amazing painting of the fire-breathing dragon, and the lotus flowers that decorated the temple. He smiled at the memory of the beauty. The sweet hints of burning sage, mint, and incense were incredible too. The Temple of the Golden Paradise had only been opened a few years ago, but he loved the place. It had opened after he had come to Hell's Place, the former council estate where people died, disappeared, and other weird and twisted things happened every day for a university to study biomedical science. Yet he was so glad the temple had opened. All of Hell's Place wanted to hear the holy words, hear the visions and the advice of the Great One. At first, he wasn't too fussed, but Ariana had loved the Great One and regularly came to see him. And Charlie grinned at the Great One's first words to him. "You have the power to save everyone you love." Charlie kept going down the icy cold staircase. The lumpy, sharp, and bumpy edges of the granite steps pressed into his feet, but he didn't care because he was going to save the family he loved tonight. All because he had the power to save his family. It's why he had wanted to study biomedical science, so he could save his wife, save other people, and make the world a better place. He shook his head at the stupidity of his dreams. He might have been a mature student who had a brief career as a pharmacist before he came back to university, but he wasn't a great student. He was struggling and failing his degree. That's why he needed the Great One, his faith and his advice to save him. He was nothing without the Great One. It was an honor the Great One wanted to give him a private lesson, private guidance and private accession to paradise, whatever that meant. Charlie reached the bottom of the stairs. He knocked on the large wooden door and went inside. He grinned at the intense, overwhelming aroma of burning incense, mint, and sage. He was inside the Great One's personal chamber. A privilege so few ever got to experience. He was so lucky and grateful. Paradise was within reach. The stone circular walls were strange with their rows upon rows of wooden shelves that rose high into the ceiling. There were bones and skulls of birds, fish, and other ape-like creatures standing proudly on the shelves like trophies. A shiver ran down his spine. Charlie went deeper into the chamber, and he grinned at the sight of the wonderful Great One. The Great One was standing perfectly straight. His long ash-gray hair was curly and seductive, and his blood-red robes looked as divine as always. It was almost strange to see the Great One standing, instead of sitting on the blood-red carpet of the temple above. Charlie bowed instantly. It was such an honor, so amazing, and he was so lucky to be in the presence of a prophet. A prophet that could hopefully save his beautiful wife, and save his fractured life from falling apart any further. "Rise," the Great One said. Charlie did as he was told. He couldn't stop looking at the Great One's wonderful smile and the kindness in his rainbow-glowing eyes. He really was a child of the gods. "Thank you, Great One," Charlie said, bowing his head, "for giving me the honor of this private lesson." The Great One folded his arms, straightened his blood-red triangular hat, and smiled. "Always," he said. "It is rare that a story of such sadness, depth, and emotion stirs me." Charlie took a step back. He hadn't wanted to reveal how his parents died in a car crash, how his older brother overdosed on coke to cope, and his first girlfriend had left him because she simply didn't care about his grief. He bit his tongue so hard blood dripped into his mouth, making the taste of warm iron form on his tongue. He wanted to suppress the memories, the pain and the hurt. That's why he needed paradise. Something only the Great One could offer. "I understand your pain," the Great One said, coming over to him. "I understand your hurt, your suffering, and I want you to feel at peace in paradise." Charlie grinned. This was it. The Great One was finally going to teach him the lesson, the key, the gateway of how to reach paradise. Everyone he loved could be saved. The Great One was so close to him that Charlie could feel his body warmth against his body. The Great One grinned, giggled, and chomped onto his right shoulder. Charlie screamed in agony. Pain ripped through his entire body. He collapsed to the ground. The Great One laughed, slurped up his blood, and his blood-soaked fangs glimmered in the dim light. Charlie shook his head. He wanted to go into shock. His body was going insane, and the pain was too much. He had to focus, he had to survive, and he had to get out of here alive. The Great One crunched on his bones, slurped up his blood, and licked his fangs clean with his snake-like tongue. Charlie's eyes widened. He had no idea how this was possible. He was a bad student, but he wasn't thick. He knew this wasn't natural. At all. The Great One grinned at him. Oh my. You are tasty, and I am so sorry. You must be in so much pain." Charlie shook slightly, as the Great One looked like he was about to cry like a small child. "Please forgive me," the Great One said. "My mission in life is to stop suffering pain and hurt, and I just ripped your shoulder out." "Oh my, you must be in agony." Charlie hissed in pain. He hated the feeling of his warm blood soaking his clothes. Pain rippled through his body again, and he was about to pass out. The Great One clicked his fingers, talons shot out of his fingers, and he laughed like a young child. Charlie tried to shuffle away, but he had lost all sense of direction. The overwhelming aroma of roasted flesh, burning mint, and incense made him want to vomit. The smell was just toxic now, and he understood exactly what the roasted flesh was. It was probably human flesh. "You're a monster," Charlie said, forcing out the words and shuffling what felt like backwards. "No, I'm so sorry. Remember, I apologize, so I am in the right," the Great One said. "Do not worry, though. I'll kill you straight away so you don't have to be in pain anymore." "My wife," Charlie said as he continued to shuffle backwards. Yes, the Great One said, his voice echoing all around him. "She is bedridden, so weak, and she is going to die. Please save her." The Great One laughed. "Of course. She will enter paradise. Just like you will. You will die, and all your pain, hurt, and suffering will disappear." Charlie kept shuffling backwards. He couldn't survive this. He didn't want to die, and he certainly didn't want whatever paradise this monster was offering. It was all a lie. Charlie shuffled straight into the Great One's blood-soaked legs. The Great One knelt down, wrapped his arms round Charlie, and he gulped. "Do not worry, soon the pain will be gone," the Great One said. "Your wife will come here searching for you, and she will join you in paradise. In death there is no pain, no hurt, and no suffering. All will be fine." Charlie tried to crawl away, but the Great One pressed onto his right shoulder. Charlie screamed in agony, and he knew he was going to die. The Great One devoured his head. His bones crunched, his blood sprayed, and his muscles were ripped away. As he died, Charlie focused on his beautiful wife, his sweet young girls, and everything he had ever dreamt of was going to die with him. But at least he was entering paradise. No more pain, no more suffering, and no more hurt. He smiled at that realization, and he accepted his twist of fate.
Welcome back everyone, it's me again, Connor Whiteley. So I really hope that you enjoyed today's story, because I flat out love writing, creating stories and sharing them with you. If you really enjoyed today's story, then please remember to like, comment and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new content, and the engagement really helps the Whiteleyverse with the YouTube algorithms. And if you want to buy this short story or any of my other fiction, then they're available from all major ebook retailers, and you can get them from your local library if you requested, and you can order the paperback copies from Amazon, your local bookstore or local library if you request it. Lastly, if you want to support the channel on a one-off basis, then you can now buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Connor Whiteley. Also, if you know anyone who would enjoy today's story, then please share it with them. I'm always really grateful when you wonderful people help spread the word about the channel. So, thanks for watching the Whiteleyverse, and I'll see you again soon. Have a great day, everyone.